Right, I'm recording this because quite a few of you missing today. I'm assuming lots of illness going around. We've all been isolating, so we've not been exposed to the normal germs that would help us build up our immunity. And a reminder to that, please, that you should be wearing your masks around college. Can't make you wear one in the classroom, but you should definitely be wearing them in the corridors when you leave, please. I'm reminded that there are still people who have vulnerable people at home. Even one of my year 11s yesterday from Sedgefield, I know his dad is very, very poorly. And so he kept his mask on because obviously he doesn't want to take anything home to his dad. Right, Sarah Lily, would you knock that light off for me, please? And can you still see that okay for annotations? Right, lovely. So why am I starting today's lesson with page 97 of the introduction? Now, it's because it gives me some really interesting AO5 information. It tells me that as early as the 1800s, some productions were opening with Act 1, Scene 2 instead of Act 1, Scene 1. And it gives me 2 and a bit reasons as to why that happened. So, first of all, it became common theatrical practice provoked by theatrical architecture. I'll just stabilise that a bit. The proscenium arch stage made it more economical to get the seaside scene, I love it being called the seaside scene, out of the way in order to concentrate on the alternation between the two houses of Orsino and Olivia. So, one of them was just a very practical issue, right? There's a lot more stuff involved with having the scene by the sea, so let's do it first, then we can clear the stage, because as we know, the rest of the play moves between Olivia and Orsino's households. So that's the first reason. But it was also dictated by a sense of the dramaturgic potency, oh, what a phrase, of beginning a play with a tempest rather than a disquisition. So basically, what does that mean? It was a lot more dramatic to open with a shipwreck, or the aftermath of a shipwreck, than Orsino waffling on, feeling sorry for himself. And by the opportunity, so this is like 2A, so that's reason 1, that's reason 2, because when you do that, it also gives you the opportunity to foreground Viola's agency. What does that mean? Foreground Viola's agency. Genevieve?
I might be wrong.
Hang on, let me just stop you there. You might be, but let's always just be assertive and bold in what we say.
Okay.
And if you are wrong, I will help you get to a better answer without you feeling silly.
Okay. Is agency like social standing?
Is agency social standing? Yes, that's definitely part of it. Good. Bit more. Foregrounding Viola's agency. Okay, let me help you out then. Would it help if we talked about these two terms, whether a character is active or passive? Have we come across those terms before at GCSE? What do they mean? What do they mean? Jasmine? Not sure? Ella? Not heard of it before? Okay. So, active characters are those who the writer and the plot allow to do things and make things happen. Passive characters have things done to them and often tend to be reactive. So a character's agency can come from how much I mean, it's all illusory, isn't it? Because they're all at the mercy of the writer and the plot. But that illusion of agency, of being able to act for oneself and make things happen. So if we open the play with Viola speaking the first words instead of Orsino, we're perhaps signalling something about Viola. So you might want to, so in terms of AO5 means interpretations. So we're just thinking about the different ways that this play can be performed. Okay, so I think that is a nice introduction for us to Viola. One of your main jobs in this next little bit as I go through the scene is to let me know if I'm going too fast and to ask me any questions if I haven't explained anything properly. Yeah? Okay. What is, just to connect back to last week, what's the last thing we saw Orsino doing? Mimi? Yeah. It was all a bit too much for him, so he had to go and lie down in a bed of flowers. Love thoughts lie rich when canopied with bowers. Is he an active or a passive character? Through that, he's all pretty passive, isn't he? He's just talking about what he wants love to be like, but he's not actually experiencing it. And apart from sending gifts to Olivia, he's not really doing much else about it either. But now our action shifts to the seaside. Anyone got the seaside at the weekend? No? Maybe we all need a bit of sea air. Get some colour in our cheeks. Viola. What country friends is this? The first thing that she does, having been washed up on the shore, is to ask a question. Where am I? What's going on? And the reply we get is, this is Illyria, lady. Who would like to tell me about Illyria? Yes?
Is it where Orsino is?
No, it's not. Not where Orsino is. Where's Illyria? So this is where, if you'd done your gill work, which was to read and prep Act 1, Scene 2, these are the kinds of things that you should know. Because if you don't know, you're looking them up. And you're using your Arden because... Hang on. Oh, do you know what? Sorry, it's exact... My apologies, you're exactly right, it's where Orsino is. I'm asking the wrong question. No, I'm asking the right question of the wrong word. Yes, they're in Illyria. I told you I wasn't well. And what should I do in Illyria? My brother, he is in Elysium. Where's Elysium? Yes.
Is it like heaven?
Yeah, it is. Sorry about that. I do hope you start to get a sense that I'm not the kind of teacher who'll try and talk a way out of that. That's just 100% my mistake. Because what I wanted to show you here in the notes, in Greek mythology, the state or abode of the blessed after death, hence in this context heaven. Viola plays on the assonance with Illyria. So the fact that Illyria and Elysium have that similar sound in the middle means that our AO2, which remember is worth 75% of our mark. But what's the assonance drawing attention to there? Can you remember what they said in the video about why this play is set in Illyria? Dan? Because it's fictional. And why is that good? Why set it in a fictional place? Exactly, Dan. So that Shakespeare has license to say what he wants, have characters behave how he wants, without being accused of basing them on real people and real events. Because actually that was very dangerous in Shakespeare's time. Worst case scenario, prison, something chopped off. Best case scenario, you just got your play censored or not put on. So it joins these two places together, fictional kind of license given. And then she says, perchance he is not drowned. How many times are we going to see that perchance come up? 1, 2, 3. And then not quite a perchance, but a chance here. And so we get this word perchance being used here as perhaps, but here as in hope. And then Viola basically uses them both meanings here. Perhaps he is not drowned. It is chance that you were saved, but maybe, perhaps, and with chance, he might have been saved. Now, what's important, Viola's brother isn't just a brother, what else is he? A twin, yeah, he's her twin. So we're going to hear about her twin. What's his name? Sebastian. Here's our first introduction to him. So in terms of structure, and we talked about structure already this lesson when we've looked at which scene opens the play. Structure now is thinking about the introduction of Sebastian as a character. He's obviously well loved by his sister. She's upset and worried at the thought that he might die. But the captain gives her a bit of hope. Assure yourself, I saw your brother, most provident in peril, bind himself to a strong mast. So, the first thing that we see about him, emphasised by the alliteration here, is that the last time he was seen, he was not only alive, but he had strapped himself to the fallen mast of the ship in order to try and stay afloat. So what impression does that create of him? Genevieve? He's strong, he's determined, he's resilient. Excellent. Can anyone tell me, in this line, what AO2 is going on? Courage and hope, both teaching him the practice. What literary terminology would we use to discuss that line? Courage and hope, teaching him. Sarah Lily? Yeah, we've got personification there. Courage and hope are abstract nouns. You can't actually teach him anything, so here they're personified. But what that means is, in the midst of all of this shipwreck, he retained courage and hope. So it's another indication of what his character is like. And now I'm about to give you some life advice. I'll give you a lot of advice over the next 2 years. All kinds of things, from the best way to clean a microwave to nutritious meals you can make from chickpeas. But now I'm going to teach you what to do if you ever find yourself on holiday and you're about to be pursued, mugged and even murdered. It's a very simple solution. You might think that you'd reach into your pocket for your phone to call for the Coast Guard or the police. No, you'd be wrong. The best thing you can do is whip out your lyre. You know, your little harp that you carry around with you all the time. I want you to whip out your lyre. I want you to play it. That's going to summon, you need to sing as well. Now that's going to summon to your aid, a dolphin. That cheeky little dolphin can't resist the old liar. That dolphin's going to come swimming up to you. You're going to jump on the dolphin's back and you're going to swim to safety. No? Think calling the Coast Guard might be better? Okay, all right. Don't say I don't teach you good life stories, though. Because look, that's what happened to Sebastian. He, like Arion on the dolphin's back, rode that mast. And how do I know about Arion? Because I'm a genius? No, not a word you could ever use to describe me. Because I've read my notes at the bottom of the Arden. But what effect does this create then? If we compare Sebastian to a semi-legendary Greek poet and musician. Amy? Yeah. He's like a hero. Oh man, I can't wait to meet this Sebastian. Oh wait, he might be drowned. But we know he's not, don't we? We know he's not drowned. And in fact, structurally then, it's important that we're given a plausible reason for his survival. You don't want the captain saying, to be honest, last time I saw him, he was just bobbing under that water. It didn't look good. The captain gives us hope. And Viola rewards that hope with money. Ah, so she's a woman of means. She's got gold. Also, the fact that she has managed to escape gives her hope that he has. Mine own escape unfoldeth to my hope. And then she asks, do you know this country? Well, lucky for you, Viola, the captain was born not 3 hours away. So he knows Illyria. And then they have a bit chat about Orsino. And is revealed to it. It is revealed to us that Orsino is noble in nature as in name, because Orsino means little bear, considered a noble beast. Helpful, these notes, aren't they? And Viola says, oh, I've heard my father name him. We're getting a sense that perhaps Viola is from a good family as well. He was a bachelor then. Yeah, let's sort out immediately whether Orsino is single. That's Viola. That's where she's headed. And the captain says yes, or at least he was a month ago, because a month ago he was still seeking the love of fair Olivia, hadn't quite obtained it yet. What's she? Well, she's a virtuous maid. She's a good virgin. That's how we want to categorise all of our women. The daughter of a count that died some 12 months since. Okay, that's interesting. So we're about to learn that we're getting a bit more information about Olivia here, that her father and her brother died about a year ago, which potentially adds to that performative aspect of her grieving. I'm not saying that you should get over the death of a father and a brother within a year. It's unlikely that you're ever going to get over that kind of loss. But we are in a comedy. Yeah? So let's just be guided by the genre a little bit. Anyway, since then, she has not looked at men. And Viola instantly kind of thinks, oh, I wish I could work for her. And why does she want to go and work for her? Because she wants some time till she has made mine own occasion mellow what my estate is. She needs some time to figure out what her situation is. And look at that word I've underlined there. Might not be delivered to the world. Excuse me. Millie, what's interesting about the word delivered?
It's kind of like she wants to start life again and like be reborn.
Spot on, what a good lass. So we've got the metaphor there, haven't we? Babies are delivered into the world. It's like she wants the chance, if she's going to be reborn into this new world, she wants the chance to figure out who she is before she's reborn into it. Sadly, that's not going to be the case because she won't let anybody in. One of our key themes in this play is that of appearance and disguise. And Viola now shows that she's quite canny, she's quite worldly wise. She decides that she will trust the captain. And she trusts him because of his fair behaviour. Although she does recognise that often a beauteous wall closes in pollution. So we've got another metaphor there. A beauteous wall closes in pollution. Hannah, what do you think that means? Sorry, I meant that, Hannah. I forgot to say which one. Go on.
In Annotation, it says that pollution is kind of like a bad thing. It's not supposed to be something that is valued. So maybe she's suggesting that he's kind of got a wall and that he's actually maybe not the person he seems.
You're halfway there, Hannah. You're halfway there. She says that she recognises that often you shouldn't trust somebody just because of their outward appearance, because they could be closing in pollution. She says, but I actually believe that your mind suits your fair and outward character, right? So we've got this idea that already of whether we should trust outward appearances, and she's going to take a chance on the captain. And he's not going to be in the play much, and actually he's going to be quite fair. And then she decides that she will disguise herself. Again, an active decision there, showing her agency. She's made that choice to disguise herself. And she's going to present herself to him and basically serve him. What else may hap to time I will commit. Only shape thou thy silence to my wit. So she's also just putting her hands a little bit. She really can't speak today. She's also putting herself into the hands of fate. That's what I was trying to say. What else may hap to time I will commit. There's even a quotation on the board behind Hannah. Time, thou must untangle this, not I, she says later in the play. So often characters are just going to let things play out and see what happens. And the captain says, yeah, don't worry, you can trust me. If I ever blab, I'll go blind. A bit extreme, perhaps, but that's what he offers to do. Okay.